Welcome to Make a Path Presents. My name is Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk, will Alpha attack Alexandria? Alright guys, so again I'm getting this video from a little blurb that Robert Kirkman said in the official Walking Dead magazine, the winter of 2016 edition, on page 61 I believe he says. A real quick line where they're talking about making the villains different. He's asked how closely he pays attention to making them different. He essentially says it's pretty easy, whoop-de-whoop, but at the end he says, as I say that, I am worried that there's an issue where Alpha does something exactly like the governor. I try not to let that happen. The only thing I could think of off the top of my head at first was attacking Alexandria like the governor attacked the prison. But when you try not to blend the comic book and the show, I look at the comic book and I'm like, well, he pretty much only attacked it with a tank. And in the comic book, he only attacked after he was injured by Michonne, or basically handicapped by Michonne, because he had to heal over a period of time. Because in the comic, when you try to remember it differently than the show, the comic governor did not go to the prison when he was all A-OK and attack it like the governor did. Well, the governor didn't get mutilated, but anyway, except for the eye. In the comic, the governor lost an arm and had his nuts stapled to a board or something and all that, and lost the eye and more. But anyway, what I'm saying is, I believe the way it went down is Martinez was a spy for the governor. He was a mole for the governor. Martinez was killed, so he didn't actually tell him the location of the prison. So when the governor healed up, he started sending men on a scouting mission, and I believe they ran into Glenn, because that's when they shot Glenn with a shotgun, but he had the vest on, if I remember all the pieces together. So they eventually found him, and they attacked the prison with the tank. They tried at first to use Tyrese, the threat of killing him, so they would open up. That way they didn't destroy it, and finally the governor just got pissed, lost his mind, and was like, screw it. I think he said, we'll put up a fence or something. So they ran over the fence. But Alpha has the walkers, so if this is a big case scenario where Kirkman is talking about the Alpha doing something big that it's very similar to the governor, it would have to be attacking. Because I don't think it would be the sexual shit like the governor, what he did with Michonne. I don't believe Alpha would do something similar. And that was another big part of the governor, what he did to Michonne. Now, the other big part of the governor, I believe off the top of my head, there would be 3 big parts to the governor. There would be, well, technically 4 if you're counting Penny too, but there would be feeding of the walkers. He feeds them for the arena, and he feeds his, depending on what you follow, he feeds his daughter / niece. And then the other one is what he did to Michonne, the sexual assault, and the third one is attacking the prison. Those are like the 3 biggest events. Now, big things happen because of those events. But you get what I'm saying. So if Kirkman is not talking about something big, in the governor storyline, it would have to be something small. If it's something small, chances are it'll go unnoticed. So I don't believe he would mention it. It wouldn't even be worth mentioning, because if she cut off someone's arm, I don't think he'd do that again. But that was a big event. Don't get me wrong. It was it was a big deal. But I just don't see Alpha doing that. Now, he could be comparing cutting off heads, but keep in mind, he said exactly like the governor. She does something exactly like the governor. So it can't be a head and an arm. That's not exact. So it got me thinking, and after a while, I still cannot get off of the attacking being the thing. Because, like I said, Rick and Michonne and Glenn ran into the governor. The governor instantly cut off his hand. I believe he fed Rick's hand to Penny, actually, his niece / daughter. And then after that, he took Michonne, abused Michonne, tortured Glenn by hearing him abuse Michonne, and then Martinez, you being a mole for the governor, was able to trick Rick, get them all to sneak out, even with Alice and the doctor. Doctor dies, they sneak out. Rick doesn't trust him, but he kind of does. He takes him back to the prison, then Martinez runs away. They chase after him. Now, keep in mind, at this point in time, or maybe, yeah, after, because, or before, I'm sorry, because Michonne catches up with him. Michonne gets revenge on the governor. And then after this, we just see him technically healing up. So yeah, in my eyes, it has to be attacking Alexandria. Now, when would she attack Alexandria, and why would she attack Alexandria? The when would most likely have to come after issue 155, or around there or after, because 150 just hit, and this is a big deal with bringing the people together. 151, obviously it's going to have to deal with possibly Dwight being reprogrammed to say, or convinced, I should say, to become the leader again. And that might even be him going back to him on the cover. It might be him going back to the sanctuary, or chances are what's most likely going to happen is the cover of 151 was actually from 150, which was him leaving with all the gear. So what's going to happen in 151 is different than the cover, what the cover suggests. I bet you that's what it is. So let's say Dwight does his shit. No, what would happen at 50? Because then we go to 52. Yeah, so the rally cry, I'm thinking we will see some whispers and some hilltop in 151. 152 is the propaganda. That most likely will start in 151 and bleed into 152. 153 is Rick on the blood puddle, considering he just ripped that guy's throat out. I'm guessing that actually has, because keep in mind, time is moving pretty slow in the comic right now. Even when it picks up fast-paced issues, the time is going slow. We're only dealing with hours usually in a day, or maybe a day or 2 days. So Rick is probably kneeling down at the puddle site where he was attacked. And then we haven't seen the 154 cover, but that might be where we get the cover. And now we know to look for it from the other video where the Whisper, the new character is going to be on the cover. That's pretty cool. And that is something we're going to look for. It's in the other video. Check that video out. But I'm saying with Alpha, as far as attacking, again, it has to be 154, 155, 156, somewhere around there. Because Rick still has to pull together his little military. I don't believe they would go through all this trouble story-wise to get Rick to talk about a military, bring his people all together, and have Alpha attack early. And then again, why would she wait a little bit, make that truce, make the border, and why would she just hang around for a few days and think, yeah, fuck it, let's attack? It doesn't make any sense. So something else has to happen in that story. Maybe the kingdom. We haven't seen the kingdom for a little bit. Maybe they get a new leader. Maybe this is the person we're talking about. Maybe this new leader says, "Rick, we don't want to wait. We don't want to wait for you. We got this. We're gonna go and attack." That leads an attack on Alpha. Rick can't control it. Maybe he doesn't even know about it. They attack. Alpha decides, you know what, we're gonna go and hit Alexandria. And this could be a thing where we get some kind of face-off. Something happens that's exactly like the governor. I don't know. Listen, this was a quick breeze through what's going to happen in the comic book in the coming issues. I would really like to hear your opinion. What do you think is going to happen? Because we're getting a feel right now that there's going to be a lot of build-up from 150 on. It's going to be a build-up and something's changing. There is a big change coming. It might be the landscape. It might be how they're structured. It might even be Rick as a leader, being more sinister, which I know a lot of fans are excited about. I'm real excited about it. As long as they don't turn him into a downright villain, I think that would do more harm to the character, and it kind of doesn't make sense. But I can see him being more sinister leader, absolutely. A more cold, calculating leader, because he's always been headed in that direction. So let me know what your thoughts and opinions are for the coming story in the Walking Dead comic. Let me know what you think Alpha's going to do that is exactly the same as the governor. Thoughts and opinions down below. I'm done chit-chatting. It's your turn.
Subscribe now.